Why did Perestroika fail? Have you ever wondered why a major reform effort like Perestroika did not succeed? Let's take a closer look at this significant moment in history. Perestroika, which means restructuring, was initiated by Mikhail Gorbachev in the mid-1980s. The aim was to revitalize the Soviet Union's socialist system. Gorbachev wanted to modernize the economy and political structure while keeping socialism intact. However, the plan did not go as intended. One reason for the failure was that the reforms tried to introduce economic changes without fully moving toward a market economy. Gorbachev aimed to give more autonomy to enterprises and reduce the strictness of central planning. However, state ownership of production and price controls remained. This partial reform created confusion and instability. Managers gained some freedoms, but they still operated within a system that did not align with true market principles. This mismatch led to economic disruption instead of improvement. On the political side, Perestroika did not seek to create a full democracy or a multi-party system. Gorbachev wanted to maintain a modernized socialist state with limited political pluralism. This approach failed to satisfy those who wanted more openness and democratization. At the same time, it alienated conservatives who resisted any change. The result was political instability, contributing to the eventual dissolution of the Soviet Union. Another factor was the entrenched nature of the Soviet system. The economy and political institutions were highly centralized and bureaucratic, making it hard to implement reforms effectively. The existing system faced many structural obstacles, including shortages and declining productivity. These issues had built up over many years. Attempting to reform without a complete overhaul led to unintended consequences and systemic breakdown. From a socialist viewpoint, the failure of Perestroika highlights the challenge of reforming socialism without abandoning its core principles. The reforms were not radical enough to create a functioning market economy, nor conservative enough to maintain the old command system. This middle ground resulted in economic decline and political fragmentation. In practical terms, the failure of Perestroika shows how difficult it is to reform a large, centralized socialist system that has lost its dynamism. It emphasizes the need for coherent political will, clear economic direction, and the ability to manage social and institutional resistance. The experience suggests that socialist states must carefully balance reform and stability to avoid systemic collapse.